tell you, I mentioned it to my son over the weekend. We weren't on the air. I thought, and I kind of mentioned it yesterday, but I brushed past it. I thought Kansas City winning that final game over the weekend was huge because Detroit was steamrolling them in the first couple matchups. And had they finished off the sweep, I think Kansas City would have came into Cleveland staggering, taking a couple shots and then maybe teetering a little bit, man. Instead, they kind of righted their ship just a little bit on their way out, That's a big difference. I mean, that's the difference. We know we went through the sweep and staggering coming out of Detroit like that, and they were right there, but they were able to win that third one, and it sent them into Cleveland. I don't want to say momentum, but different than had they staggered in. I was really pulling for that sweep on Sunday. I'm like, that's what the Indians need. And I thought that may have been just enough to bolster the confidence of the Royals heading into Cleveland. So you can look at that as a key, too. Maybe them being able to buck up and win that third game. I think it may have been a different Royals team coming in had Detroit swept them out of town. But, that's just my thoughts on that. Like you said, you've got to go out there tonight. Ventura is a tough out, that's for sure. And he matches up with Salazar tonight. Duffy did his job for Kansas City last night. Tonight, it's time for Salazar to go out there and earn his keep, and we'll see if the Indians can keep it going one more day. Tribes 82-75, Royals 85-71. Who's going to win tonight? If it's not the Indians, well, then the season is over. That's it. That's how you end that segment. If it's not the Indians, the season is over. Jeff Gorman, Indians101.com. Thank you so much for being here with us. Looking forward to catching up to you next week. Hopefully, we're talking about the wild card playoff game or the play-in playoff game coming up next Tuesday, but we'll see. We'll see. It'll be an interesting 7 days.
That's right. We're definitely going to be talking about the wild card. The question is, will the Indians be a part of it?
Absolutely. Jeff Gorman, enjoy your week. We'll catch up next Tuesday.
All right, you too. Thanks a lot, man.
You got it. Jeff Gorman. You guys can check him out at Indians101.com. As always, tweet with them at Indians_101. We'll take a break. We'll get you some news. When we come back, Dr. Football Bill Chackes joins us. We'll talk about the latest Week 3 in the books for the NFL. Talk some Browns. James Harrison going back to the Steelers, perhaps. All of that. We'll hit it with Dr. Football coming up next. After the news, still plenty more to go. Don't go anywhere. Hour 2 of the Sports Fix kicks off next. Living on the edge, baby. Indians living on the edge.
The Sports Fix, your choice for intelligent talk.
I'm expecting a very important delivery at the house, so could you please call me if it arrives? I'll give you my cell number. 401-555-1125.
440.
No, I was just repeating the 4. 1-4.
1-4.
Intelligent talk.
Okay, 1125.
1125. 155.
I'm not giving you quantities of the numbers. I'm giving you the numbers. 1125. Those are the last 4 numbers.
Oh, I see. 1125.
Yes. All right. Now read the number back to me.
Let me get my pen.
The Sports Fix will be right back.
Hi, this is Joe Tate, and you're listening to The Sports Fix.
Business owners and professionals, do you want to take your business, your product, your team, your event to the next level? You want to advertise right here with the Sports Fix. Our listeners are among the most loyal listeners, terrestrial or internet. The Sports Fix universe is not only the radio show, but tens of thousands of fans on Facebook and Twitter. Email me, Jerry Myers, thesportsfix@AOL.com. That's thesportsfix@AOL.com. And let me help you swing for the fences and hit it out of the park right here on the Sports Fix. Whether it's an oil change or a new set of tires, Valley Ford Truck has you covered for your neighborhood quick service experts. They also offer a low price tire guarantee. Choose from 13 brands, and if you find the same tires at a lower price within 30 days, Quick Lane at Valley Ford will refund the difference. They're open late Monday through Thursday until 9 p.m. and open early Saturday so you can check it off your to-do list and get on with your day. They also have a newly remodeled service lounge and oil changes. Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck is located at 5715 Canal Road, right under the 480 Bridge in Valley View, just down the road from Independence. 5715 Canal Road, right under the 480 Bridge in Valley View, just down the road from Independence. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane. QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck. That's Quick Ford Truck.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Harry Buffalo. Harry Buffalo, join the herd.
Good morning, I'm Bob Picozzi. After losing their opener, they've won 2 straight, and now the Cowboys are getting healthier. Defenseman Anthony Spencer, who's been out for the last 12 months following microfracture surgery on his knee, could return Sunday night against New Orleans. Owner Jerry Jones says he's hopeful Spencer will get some snaps. Coach Jason Garrett says, let's see what he can do on Wednesday. The last 5 seasons, the Bears have returned 19 interceptions for touchdowns. Ryan Mundy's 45-yard run back on the second play from scrimmage gave Coach Mark Trestman's Bears a quick 7-0 lead. The Jets in Monday Night Football.
Well, certainly to strike first and have the first punch in any game is big. When you do that, one thing we've learned is you can't stop playing, because they're not going to stop playing. We played an excellent football team tonight, and they didn't.
The win keeps Chicago tied with Detroit for first in the NFC North. Angels manager Mike Scioscia says he's encouraged that 16-game winning rookie Matt Shoemaker will be able to return from a mild rib cage strain to start a game in the American League Division Series. The Sacramento Kings have signed guard Ramon Sessions. He averaged 12 points last season in playing time with Charlotte and Milwaukee.
Subway is celebrating all September long. The all-time classic Italian BMT is now a famous $5 footlong, and the tasty low-fat sweet onion chicken teriyaki is now the $3 6-inch select. Subway, eat fresh.
You're listening to the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix, live across the Sports Fix Radio Network. J-Rock back with you. Hour 2 of the show rolling on here. Thanks to Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com for talking to us, keeping the faith, keeping hope alive. Can the Indians keep that life support going? Can they keep that heartbeat beating for another day? We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll set the stage again tonight before we go off. But thanks to Jeff for talking about it. The final 5 games. You know what? Hey, end of the day, I mean, that's what you want. If it's football, you want to come down to week 16 with an opportunity at the playoffs. If it's basketball, you want to be, you'd prefer to have it locked up a month early, because then you're one of the top seeds. But hey, you get the point. In baseball, you want the final games of a long, grueling 162-game schedule to be meaningful. And, we're at least guaranteed that everything through 157 was meaningful. Can we get a few more? They got to win tonight to push it off tomorrow. It's like, at this point, it's like all in on every hand. If you're a poker guy, it's like all in. It's like, hey man, you got to push all. We're at the end of the table. We got the short stack in the tournament, and the blinds are catching up to us really quick. We've got to go all in. 3-4 hands in a row, 5 hands in a row, and see if we're still alive when they're counting our chips at the end of the season. Welcome back. J-Rock with you. Phone lines aren't open, but you can keep the conversation going on Facebook and Twitter and email. Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at TheSportsFixCLE. Email us, TheSportsFix today, because my man Dr. Football Bill Chackes is on the line. He's with us every Tuesday. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL and football and all of that, like we do every week here with Dr. Football. Dr. Football in the house. Bill, how you doing?
I'm doing good, J-Rock. How about yourself?
I'm fantastic. Well, no, I got to tone that back. I would be fantastic if the Indians had won both games yesterday. They did get one, but unfortunately they knocked me off of fantastic. I'm all right and leaning upwards. How's that? I'm trending upwards is where I'm at right now.
Excellent. Well, I caught you early this morning, and you were talking about a subject near and dear to my heart, because I'm sure you know, but a lot of people don't know, that I spent 18 of my 25-plus years in education as a football coach, 15 at the high school level and 3 at the college level. So you're talking about something this morning that, you struck a chord with me. So I want to get started with that. If it's okay with you, it is your show.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were talking some bit about my son's adventures here in high school. And you know what? Listen, some of it is the fact, no offense, it's Cleveland Public School system. It's understaffed, underfunded, and really undercared for. Because I'm telling you, I was talking to some parents the other day. I said, honestly, I think that they think they're doing these kids a favor just by, hey, toss them a ball, keep them off the streets, man, and they deserve so much better than that. But I know it can't just be Cleveland Public Schools. I'm sure that this is all over the place. Obviously what I'm seeing is a microcosm of society in general, and not society, but of youth football and a lot of these different, like I said, this is one slice of junior varsity in one school district. How many of those are there around the country? Thousands,
Yeah, no question. And, I've seen it, not as a coach because, I wouldn't allow it to take place in any program I was involved in, or else I'd be walking. I was involved in semi-professional football on the side at one time, and I did see it take place a lot there also. And when guys are playing for $25 a game, respected by a head coach, they should be, they should be receiving whatever guidance it is that they need. And this is a critical problem that goes not just at the youth level, but believe it or not, at the adult level as well in a few places. And it's more than just annoying. It's really, really disgraceful that this is allowed to go on. Now, I'm going to tell you about a program. I'm going to tell you about 2 different programs I was involved in when I get to the point of this conversation, this part of it anyway. The first program was a high school program that I was involved in that I helped the head coach build from the ground up, and I was the defensive coordinator and the special teams coordinator. We only had 5 guys on the staff. It was a head coach and 4 assistants, and I was one of them. And we put the whole thing together, and the kids loved it, and the parents loved it, and the principal hated it, but he had to go along with it because the whole school told him, this is what the school needs to, boost their image. And, we took a team that was, going to just have a junior varsity team. When I left the school, they had, a promising, Class B team. And to this day, they still have a DPSO Class B, and that was a good program. And the last couple times I was back in the city, to cover the draft the last couple of years until this year, I met up with a couple of my former players who are now doing different things, working, going to school, continuing their education in college. One kid is actually in minor league professional baseball, as a matter of fact. He's a great wide receiver. And they all tell me the same thing. If it wasn't for the program that we started, they would not be where they are now as people, because we gave them some discipline, but we gave them the ability to think better of themselves and realize that they can pull themselves out of, and most of these kids weren't really slum kids, but, we're talking about New York City. So they were able to pull themselves up from the morass that is New York City when you're a high school kid and do something with their lives. And I'm very proud of what I did. I'm even more proud of that than the student that I put in the Marine Corps, who's now a staff sergeant and did 2 tours of Afghanistan already. And that should tell you something, Rock. What I did before I was a teacher. So.
But see, what you just said is what I'm talking about. It's, exactly. You put it almost in exactly terms there at the end of that. That's why I think there's even more responsibility, and I'm just amazed at what I'm seeing. And again, I'm just seeing it. So I'm at the point now where I'm going to figure out what, if anything, I can try to do about it to make it better. I'm not just going to be one of those guys that complains about it. I want to figure out how to make it better because, like you said, we're not. Maybe your kids are good enough to play on Saturday if you're lucky. And then if you're really lucky, maybe they're 1 in a million. They get to play on Sunday one day. But that's not why 99% of us put our kids into high school football. It's because A, it's fun, but B, it teaches you so much. It sets the stage. And as you said, it gives you a structure. It gives you the one thing that you can do. My son, he's in many ways, he's just he's a good kid. He doesn't do a lot of bad things, though, but he's like any kid. If he can get away with not doing his homework, if he can get away with talking back to teachers, he'll try to do it. And there's such a difference like that now that he has football to be tangibly held against him, because now all of a sudden,